Okay, today we are playing a game on King's Row. We are playing Reinhardt the entire way through, and this is a competitive game, but it took place during placement, so who knows what the SR is doing for this game. So let's look at our team. We've got Reinhardt, Symmetra, Soldier, Zenyatta, Zarya, and Lucio. So we've got 2-2-2. Symmetra is more of a DPS than a support. The thing that I'm not too happy with is that Lucio Zenyatta is very low healing output as far as supports go. Less so now. After Lucio's changes came in, he does more healing now, but this is a very low healing team comp, so... And this is a pretty bad map to have a low healing team on, because King's Row doesn't really have very many health kits to work with. You've got this one, and then you've got the one in the building over here. They're both small health kits as well. And those are the only ones you can really reasonably get to, so it's not great, but, you know, whatever. So, let's start the game. So we are also in a 5-man, and I clicked play and immediately didn't want to play. We are also in a 5-man, this comes up, this is relevant. Just generally speaking, there isn't a lot of, like, really productive communication happening. It's just, like, you know, people talking about whatever... like bullshit at the time, basically. There's no really important communication or helpful communication happening, which is an issue when you're in a group this large, because then you expect to play against a group of similar size on the enemy team, and if they're more coordinated than your team is, that's going to be a problem. So, you know, it's kind of a thing. So, we're going to try and stand up in the gate. This is usually a really hard place to stand in as Reinhardt. It's really easy to just die standing up in the gate. We do have a Symmetra, so, we've got that to work with on the sides. I just generally find it really hard to stand up here unless you have a really beefy front line to help you stand up here. So, Reinhardt, Roadhog, maybe Orisa... Symmetra, Mei, you need a lot of stuff to help you stand up in the gate, usually. And we don't really have that, especially since we have a very low healing output team. So, it's generally better to stand more over in that direction, sort of not behind the statue, but on this street, between the statue and the building. There we go, that's how to parse out that sentence. And... just sort of stand there, and then you can just, shoot at them as they come through. And they still have to walk straight at you, basically. If they go into the small building on the side, you just, kill them, which is easy for us, because we have a Symmetra as well. So if they go into the confined space, that's easy for us to deal with. And then you can just, shoot at them as they come through, because they still have to either walk at you through there, or go around the other side of the statue and, still shoot in at you. It's really hard to stand up here, generally speaking. So, anyway, now... we see that they have got a pharmacy up in the sky, so this is very concerning for us. We do have a soldier and a Zenyatta, so that's good at least, but that's going to make Symmetra's life quite difficult. So, our shield is getting really low right now. Try not to... This is also why standing up here is not very good, because when your shield breaks, you find yourself in a really awkward position where you kind of have to come over here to get out of the way and let it regenerate. But this is not a very good place to stand. It's very common to stand over here, and then the other Reinhardt just, jumps around the corner and pins you into the corner, and there's nothing you can do about that. Then you just get killed. So that's another reason it's not great to stand up here, because you've got nowhere to go out of the way and let it regenerate. Whereas if you're back over there, you can just fall back onto the point or on, the other side of the statue and, let it regenerate from there. This is a very hazardous place to stand. Or, a Roadhog can come around the corner and hook you, you know. McCree can come around the corner and shoot you in the face. Bad times, basically, can happen. If there's a Pharah, she can be shooting at you from over the wall. It's not great. It's not great. They do have a Junkrat as well. We see this bomb bouncing in front of us for about 10 years. So, now they're starting to try and come through the gate again. We walk up, get a swing in on them. Great. Oh, now we're all the way over here again. Okay. And then we start walking forward. Our shield is really low. We're not full HP. Oh, and then we take our shield down and start swinging into them. That is super greedy, which we correctly identified as well in the voice chat as a very greedy maneuver. Just don't go up to the gate generally. It's very hard to stand up there. Okay, so we've got half of Earth Shatter built up. The enemy team is starting to make grounds inward. They're on the point right now. We just saw somebody get taken away by their Reinhardt. And now we're over here. We got bumped forward, which is very unfortunate because we don't want to be this deep in. And then we end up getting killed. And there's not terribly much we can do about that, really. Because we start shielding, and then we get bumped over. And then we're just right in the middle of them. And then we're going to get fucked, basically. Best thing you can probably do in that situation is try to help with the Reinhardt that charged past you, because you can always then just, like, try and pin him into the wall as well, after he's charged past you. We just sort of try and walk onto the point by ourselves, and then we get bumped further in than we want it to be, and bad times. So we hear the tire happening over there, we see up here that it's killed, Zarya. And now we're in here. This is not... I've seen scarier things when I've walked out onto the point in this kind of situation. Junkrat's gotten away from us, so that feels bad. D.Va's kind of too far away from us as well. Like, these two people, kind of too far away for us to really deal with right now. So I would turn my attention to this Reinhardt and see what he does, because he's standing around with his shield down, which generally means he's going to either try and ult or he's going to try and charge. Those are because he's trying to line something up if he doesn't have his shield up. Oh, whoops. And he was indeed lining up the pin. We get pinned. We didn't countercharge it. Our charge was up. We were, like, right on top of him, so it was going to have to be a pretty quick reaction. But we don't want to get pinned, obviously, especially not during this kind of, like, situation right now. So we start just, like, running at him and swinging our shield at him. Swinging our hammer at him. But, like, we're getting, like, blasted from the other side still. There's, like, a lot of shit happening. By the time we get to him, we're basically dead. That point, we gotta just start shielding against whatever's shooting at us and, like, wait to get healed because we are too low HP to really go in and start swinging at the Reinhardt. Then we arrive, we get chipped on the way over there, and then we get killed. Feels bad, man. So we just took the last charge of the teleporter right there. It's over. There's no way this works. We think we can make it work. We don't make it work. And now we've used our ultimate. We managed to get some of the charge back, but now we're fucked. Now we have to respawn at the third checkpoint. Oh no, not and during the street phase. Very punishing spawn to have to take. So that's not good. We thought we could do it. We couldn't do it. Don't even bother. Like, you and Zarya, we're gonna have to perform the greatest hero play in the planet right there. Yeah. We're waiting, like, back here for everybody, it looks like. I'm not really sure why. We should just, like, be trying to get back over here quicker, honestly. So, now we are back. Junkrat's over there. That's really inconvenient. Don't bother trying to fire strike that guy, because that's, like, not really gonna happen. And more important than just trying to do, like, random chip damage to somebody that you're probably not gonna hit is just building building Earth Shatter. And that's all Fire Strike is really for, building Earth Shatter. So, I remember before the game came out, and I was like, man, how's Reinhardt ever gonna charge his ultimate? And now, how foolish, like, a year ago me was, because Reinhardt's ult is one of the fastest charging in the game. So we've come up really far right now, and we don't really have, we'll get bumped forward, actually, quite far up. But we don't really have a lot with us at the time as we're going forward. Like, our team doesn't really have a lot of presence, especially since one of our team is Symmetra. So as soon as she loses ground, she becomes a lot worse. And now we have to try and, like, retake this. Like, we have to try and regain some momentum here to actually stop them. But we have low healing, a DPS that isn't really doing very much, and, like, it's not going very well. And Soldier's not exactly lighting the world on fire right now either. So we don't have a lot of presence, and it's really difficult for us to actually, like, get momentum back here. Or I suppose kill their momentum is a better way to put it on a payload map. So we've arrived up here. Most of our team's dead right now. This is probably not going to work. We might as well just fall back because we're just going to die. As soon as you're down, like, 2 people and they're not down anything, basically it's time to just, like, give it up because it's probably not going to work. So, like, I can still hear the game. There's really no actual communication happening right now. Like, no one's really talking about what we should be doing, nobody's really coordinating, nothing's getting called out. It's just, like, random conversation stuff, really, which is not good in a group this size, as we already established earlier. So we almost have Earth Shatter built up, however, like 17 ultimates are currently happening on top of us, and now we look over in the kill feed and we see half of our team are dead right as we're about to have Earth Shatter. So, this is not great. We managed to pin and kill the Reinhardt right there, that's great. We try to use Earth Shatter right here. Unfortunately, Earth Shatter does not stop the tire, so the tire still kills us. The play there is basically, like, identify that he's using the tire, Fire Strike first, because you'll break the tire. Tire has 100 HP, Fire Strike does 100 damage. But, unfortunate, feels bad, man. Game is getting stalled out over here. We actually get back. Astonishingly, we actually get back. Oh god, Tracer. Oh no, stood in the trap, getting beaten to death. Oh god, feels so bad. There's the two of the most depressing things to see happen in this game is a Tracer that got hacked by Sombra, or a Tracer that stepped on a trap. God, it's just so depressing. So, Graviton's happening over there. If that caught somebody other than D.Va, that'd be really good, because they'd get dumped in the pit. Actually, probably not, now that I look at it, because that D.Va didn't actually have to jet to get back on, she just fell over onto it, so... Yeah, we're fucked right now, by the way. Like, we can't even really try and block anything, because all of their, like, it's very awkward for us to block most of their heroes. Because I really, in that situation, want to just try and block damage coming in as much as possible, but with, like, Pharah and a Junkrat being their DPS, we can't even really do that, so... We gotta just, like, swing at people and hope for the best. The best wasn't very good. So, now we have to attack on King's Row. They had some time left. They'd finished with 3.5 minutes. 3 minutes, 21 seconds. 3.5 minutes. Yeah. Like, things started going badly early on, but, like, nobody really talked about it or decided what we should try and do. No one tried to, like, coordinate ultimates or anything like that, call out what we should be trying to do. No actual conversation happened at any point during that. And, like, yeah, I guess, like, 5 friends playing a game together, yeah, but, like, the thing is, you're gonna play against a group that's 4, 5, 6 people as well, and if they're more coordinated than you, they're gonna win, usually. Like, it's just how it is. So when that starts happening, you have to try and get, like, some coordination going with your team. You have to try and figure something out. Try and, like, coordinate ultimates. Try and, if there's a specific problem the enemy team's causing, like, suppose there's, like, a Genji that's really fucking your team, you gotta try and, like, communicate that, like, yo, Genji's giving us a lot of trouble, someone's gotta change to something that counters Genji, Winston, probably. Gotta try and get the ball moving on that kind of thing, basically, because we didn't discuss it at any point. Everyone was just kind of like, oh fuck, oh shit, no, So now we've got to attack on King's Row. We're slowly advancing in. You don't really need to advance in with the shield up this entire time, usually, because you can just sort of, like, swing around the other side of the bus and then just, like, walk up to the gate. And you don't have to, like, let your shield take all this damage as you're getting up here, because then you get here and immediately just have to sit out of the way again, which is not an efficient use of time, really. So, our Winston's just gone in. Again, no coordination is happening right now, so Winston has just jumped in by himself, and now Winston is dead. And, yeah, again, no coordination, he just jumps in, no context given, he just goes in. Our charge is down, so we can't kill this Reinhardt who's just been made sleepy, so that really feels bad, man. We just try and block damage. Very important when you've got Discord Orb on you, try not to take your shield down to Fire Strike. Try and get Discord off of you first, because we just almost died, because we did that, which is not great. And then we die, because Reinhardt's behind us still, and he clubs us. We knew Reinhardt was there, but we just took a lot of damage from trying to Fire Strike, so it feels bad, man. So, our team is not fantastic for dealing with the Pharah on their team. We still have Soldier, but Soldier is not, like, great at killing a pharmacy, because Soldier has to shoot the Pharah a lot of times, so probably gonna need, like, we're gonna need either a better way to deal with the Pharah, which, in my opinion, the most consistent way to deal with Pharah is McCree. McCree has to shoot the Pharah or the Mercy a lot less times, or try and get more on. Try and get more Pharah counters. Just the way I said that didn't make any sense. We try and get more Pharah counters in, something like that. Or just try and dive in and kill everyone else and not worry about the Pharah. Another strategy is to try and get a Winston and a D.Va, because Winston and D.Va both do basically guaranteed damage to Pharah while she's in the sky, and then a DPS can finish off the last little bit. So, or we can just try and, like, not kill everybody else and not worry about the Pharah, which is also an option. So, letting our shield get really low right now. It's got 9 HP. We almost let the shield break there. We don't want to let the shield break. Really bad. We don't want to ever let it break. So, we're having a lot of trouble getting in right now. Again, nobody's oh, no. Oh, no. Zenyatta. Feels bad, man. So, this happens also. Anytime your team gets earth-shattered, you have to take that as being your mistake. Like, you... Basically, like, when your team gets earth-shattered, you have to be like, shit, I fucked up, I shouldn't have let that happen. Because we've got Earth-Shatter, we haven't seen him use his Earth-Shatter, so we can assume that, and this also is going to tie into coordination again. If we've got our Earth-Shatter, he's probably got his Earth-Shatter, especially since we haven't seen him use it. So, like, our team, again, no coordination is happening here, like, Ana's just ulted, and it's Zenyatta, which is obviously not ideal. But, so, like, some of the team is saying, alright, we want to go in right now, but again, no conversation is happening about this. So, when we're going in, basically the point is, if we're gonna go in, if this is the point where we're gonna be using ultimates because we want to go in, we need to know ahead of time, because then we can be ready to block the Reinhardt that's doing this. Because we're not ready to go in. We're on the other side of the gate, just like waiting for our shield to recharge more. And then suddenly ultimates start happening. Then we come forward. We're not ready to block this because we haven't had enough, like, time to get ready, basically. And then we get earth-shattered. So, coordination is a bit of an issue. So that's, feels good, man. That just feels really good. Let's watch that one again. And their soldiers using tac visor in there as well. Oh, feels good, man. Feels good. We die, but we're like, oh, job well done, Reinhardt. Oh, killed them all. Feels good, man. Feels good. So now we get to walk back to the point. We died, but we led to the entire team dying, so doesn't even matter. They're going to take the point by the time we get over there. Feels good, man. So, now we have to wait for the payload to come out of the gate, and then we can start going again. Genji's just gotten killed over there, which is not exactly fantastic timing. So, Fire Strike's up right now. We want to try and, like, be building up Fire Strike, Earth Shatter as quickly as possible. Remember, he also ulted slightly ahead of us, so that means he's going to have a little bit more ult charge than us. Because he got to fight a little bit, because he got to do some damage after Earth Shattering. He died, and he died as well, so he's not got a huge amount, but he's got more charge than us right now. So we want to try and, like, get that charge in as quickly as possible. We just Fire Strike through their whole team. Feels good, man. Look at that. Now we're all caught up. So our shield's really low right now. This is happening. Our shield isn't broken, so we get to just hold it up and stop it from killing anybody. Probably wouldn't have killed anybody anyway, but still. And now we just gotta wait for our barrier to recharge before we can come out and start trying to get through the archway again. Barrier's recharged, now we can start trying to go through again. Their Reinhardt's up there, swinging in. Now we just play footsies for a little while. People are now going in. Again, Winston's just dived in, no real conversations happened about this. So we're really surprised that Reinhardt did that. We can actually see this happening to the Reinhardt. You have to be watching pretty closely, but we do see Reinhardt pinball over the top of us right there. Everybody kind of went everywhere, but I do remember when I was watching this through earlier, I was like, oh, Reinhardt's behind them. Good thing he already used Earth Shatter, and then he pinned us anyway. So blah, blah, blah. Things, lots of ultimates are happening right now. We've got Earth Shatter. There's nothing for us to really hit. Far is dead right now. We can pin this Reinhardt who's sleepy. Important also, he used his Earth Shatter during that fight. We have not used our Earth Shatter. He got some of this charge back because he pinned us and got to swing in a few times as well, so he's probably like halfway there. But we've got our Earth Shatter. He doesn't have his Earth Shatter right now, so that means the next time we get into a fight, we're going to be at an advantage. So, we gotta just, like, pushing it up. Our team's going off ahead, trying to make some space. And we're gonna get up here. Here comes their soldier. He's coming in. He's trying to be a hero. Again, we've almost let our shield break. It's very scary letting it drop down that low. So, here comes the Transcendence. Don't do this, where we're like swinging in front of them, just like not really doing anything. We're just kind of like standing there, waving the stick at them. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you. You just take damage, so I try not to do that. So, we use our Earth Shatter right here. It's not as sick as we thought it was gonna be, which, you know, feels bad. We could try and angle this better ahead of time, because, like, we're trying to line up this Earth Shatter, basically. Right around here. And we get a few of them, but we don't get, like, enough. Zenyatta's still up, so he gets to, like, kill us as we're coming through. We can try and angle this a bit better by just, like, starting to go left as this is happening, so that we can try and get as much coverage in the tunnel as possible, and try and get a bit of a wider area in. Then we could probably get the Zenyatta as well as everybody else that we got. Because when you've got Earth Shatter, basically you're just trying to Earth Shatter at the earliest opportunity. You want to try and position in places where you're going to get the most. You got to try and, like, think a few stages ahead and be like, alright, where can I get that's still protecting people, but also if I Earth Shatter, it's going to cover, like, the widest area of people as well. You got to think a little bit ahead when you're trying to use your Earth Shatter. Which you're going to be as soon as you've got your Earth Shatter built up. So, now, we're up here. You might infer from the amount of time left that this game doesn't go that very well, because they've still got 3.5 minutes, and there's only 5 minutes in this game. So we're in here now. We've got to push it through, in my opinion, the hardest part of the map to push it through. So, it's kind of spooky to try and push through this area, I find. So, there goes Winston. He's going in right now. He's up there. Our shield's low right now, so we've got to just try and let it recharge. I've played this game before where I've just crouched behind the payload, like, yep, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. So our shield's up right now, we're out on the moon. I just heard something beep, but I think that might have actually been, yep, that was actually from the video, not from a window of mine. Had to check anyway. So, D.Va is dead right now. Lost her mech and is dead as well, so that means we've got the initiative right now. We can start trying to push in more aggressively. Unfortunately, there's not a lot for us to really do, because, like, a lot of them are in the sky right now, which is a bit outside of our area. But somebody should call, D.Va's dead, let's go, because they're down, like, one of their tanks. So, we have called out the Junkrats on our right. This is happening, we have to just hold our shield up in front of it. Very optimistic charge, wouldn't recommend that one. Junkrat's got so much warning that you're coming, there's, like, no way that hits him. And now we've got to, like, lumber all the way back over here. So, Zenyatta's over there, team is starting to come back out again, and we've ended up in a pretty hazardous position. So, I would just go in on this Zenyatta, because he's just put himself in the closet over there right now, and killing Zenyatta is pretty good, seeing as he is one of their healers, and Discord is really strong. We don't really know what to do, we just, like, look in a bunch of different directions, and then we end up getting plinked to death from behind. I just go in on that closet and beat Zenyatta to death, which shouldn't take too terribly long. We had Fire Strike up as well, I'm pretty sure. And then once we'd finished beating Zenyatta to death, we'd actually be really close to having Hammer down, so we might be able to make something of that. But the fight started to go downhill by that point as well, so probably we would just kill Zenyatta and had a bit more charge for this push coming in. Okay, so we've got to wait for our team to regroup right now. Zenyatta's all the way over there, which is not exactly good feng shui for him to be all the way on the other side of this fucking chasm, but whatever. So, our team is back now. We're going to try and walk at them. They don't have a Reinhardt anymore, which makes things a lot easier for us, and we've almost got Earth Shatter built up. Junkrat just died, so that means they're 5 men right now. We just built up Earth Shatter. We're going in to look for an Earth Shatter right now. Like, we should go in and just try to land an Earth Shatter immediately. Because they're down a person. They were down a person and nobody really went in on it. As soon as they're down a person, if you're in a 5-man and they're down a person, you go, alright, go. It's 5v6 right now, let's go. Because we had Earth Shatter, there were like a few people lined up over here. We could have maybe made something out of that one if we went in a little bit more decisively. So Zenyatta trying to like slide himself around us right there with his right click. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. So we hammer down right here. Unfortunately, doesn't hit Junkrat. And the Transcendence was just slow enough that it didn't manage to actually save us. Feels bad, man. I see that Zenyatta walking up on the side. I wouldn't Earth Shatter immediately because that Zenyatta was not in a illegal position. That was not okay for him to be doing that. Somebody should have been like, get Zenyatta, and then we could have gotten that Zenyatta, and then we could have Earth Shattered afterwards. It's also unlucky that it didn't hit the Junkrat. If it hit the Junkrat, then we would have probably been able to make something off of that as well. Looks like Junkrat was like a foot too far away for it to actually land on him, which is, feels pretty bad. So we've got 30 seconds left right now. We're going to have one push left in us. All we've got is Dragon Blade, so it's going to be pretty hard. And we're nowhere near Earth Shatter right now. I don't know what everybody else is currently at. Anna's just built up Nano Boost, so we're talking about doing Nano Blade. So, there they go. There they go. They're going in right now. Transcendence is also happening, which makes things more difficult. Tire. Didn't break the tire. Tire landed on us and kills us. Feels bad, man. And as soon as the tire went off, it was gonna feel pretty bad. They had all of their ultimates, so it was pretty unlikely to work. All we had was Nano Blade. They had every ultimate, so it wasn't gonna work out basically. In the team fight where one side's got 6 ultimates and the other side has got 2 ultimates, basically just 1 ultimate as well, seeing as it's Nano Blade, Nano Visor. That's kind of just 1 ultimate really. It tends to not go so well for the team that's got their 1 ultimate. Feels bad, man. You got killed by being pinned between the 2 Reinhardts. Feels bad, man. But we got the card. Good job, boss. So, the thing that stands out to me the most is, usually I don't really care about communication overly so, but we are in a 5-man, so it becomes more important. There's just not a lot of communication happening in this game. Like, nothing productive, really. Like, there's little bits here and there, but for the most part, there's no productive conversation happening. And that's important when you're in a group this size, because you're going to play against a group of similar size. We've said this like 3 times now. Other thing we position very, very greedily in a lot of cases. Like, on defense, we stand a lot closer to them than we should be standing. We go in, we try and swing when we're not full HP, we get killed. We do a lot of, like, greedy positioning, and then we don't give up on things quickly enough. We keep going forward into hazards, we don't fall back appropriately. So, positioning was the other thing that stands out. We're either too aggressive we're too aggressive a lot of the time, and we don't know when to fall back, and we're just standing in really aggressive, greedy, hard to defend areas a lot of the time, and sort of not doing a lot of defending during that. But our team is also really scattered at a lot of points as well, so that's going to make it hard to actually defend things. And when we were defending as well in the street phase, there was a lot of just a couple people going forward and dying 1 or 2, 1 by 1, 2 by 2. It shouldn't really happen when you're in a pre-made. We should be more coordinated than this. There's no coordination happening, and I think that's pretty much the biggest thing that led to losing this game, is just no coordination happening. Everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. There doesn't really feel like much team play actually happened in this game. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. More than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.